woman is risking her life undergoing a controversial surgery. She'll be wide awake when doctors drill a hole in her head. Stunt rider Joe Reed never broke a bone until a head-on crash left him mangled. See how they rebuilt this biker.
Like the $6 million man, they put me back together again.
Becky B is in the midst of a metamorphosis, and she won't quit until she turns herself into a cat.
There's a certain level of femininity about it.
Also, the competition to crown the loudest car in the world. And you'll flip when you meet the man they call the human birthday cake. Unbelievable? Believe it. On Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Hello and welcome to Ripley's. This is the center of the Ripley's universe. Every object in here represents an unbelievable story. For starters, this is an exact replica of Joe Reed's skull. He's a guy who loves to ride his motorcycle. His safety record is quite impressive. Not one serious injury or accident in 30 years. But records are made to be broken. And in this case, so was Joe's skull. When it comes to the death-defying world of motorcycle jumping, 43-year-old Joe Reed has seen it all.
I've been riding motorcycles since 1969, and I'm the oldest active living motorcycle daredevil that does stunts like I do.
Despite years of punishing stunts like these, Joe has remained uninjured until recently. His latest performance in Las Vegas would prove unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. In a face-first, life-threatening crash, Joe's luck was about to run out. And successfully rebuilding his face would mean tearing it up and starting over. Throughout his 3-decade daredevil career, Joe has prided himself on being an innovator.
I've made history multiple times because of the unusual and creative jumps that I do. The longest distance jumped directly over the blades of 3 full-size helicopters.
He's even able to fly across tall buildings on his bike.
I created the form of jumping from one building to another in downtown Las Vegas back in 1988.
And all during his career, Joe would brag to anyone who'd listen that he had never been badly injured.
I'm the only stuntman in the world in the history of entertainment that's ever jumped, made it, or not made it, and never broken a bone.
But as Joe prepared to jump over a helicopter blindfolded, many of his fans watched his unbroken streak come to an end.
What I was doing was doing literally a simple rehearsal, warm-up test run, back and forth across a 30-foot gap.
But as he started across the ramp, his wife Jennifer was startled to see him do something that he had never done before.
I saw him let off the gas, and I couldn't believe the first thing that hit my mind was, oh my God, he let off the gas.
At the most critical point of the jump, something unexpected caught Joe's eye.
I thought I saw a kid running from one side over to the other.
Joe was forced to make a decision, but to complete the jump would mean hitting the child.
There's no way I would allow my motorcycle or my body to strike a child.
So Joe did the only thing he could. He slowed down and smashed face first into the landing ramp.
That's not good. It was like riding into a brick wall.
Incredibly, although horribly injured, Joe never lost consciousness.
I heard everything, including including the crunching of every bone that broke in my face.
Emergency crews immediately sprang into action. In an ironic twist, instead of jumping over the spinning blades of a helicopter, Joe would be carried off to the hospital inside of one.
Every time I took a breath, I could feel bones in my face, clicking and touching each other, and I should have died.
Doctors were astonished that Joe survived the crash at all and weren't sure he'd pull through. But after stabilizing him, surgeons began the task of putting Joe back together. His injuries were so extensive, Joe feared that he would never, ever look normal again. The force of the impact to his face was like a blow from a sledgehammer. Even his teeth were pulverized into powder.
I didn't look in the mirror for probably 4 months. I didn't want to look at what I did to my face.
Plastic surgeons made a model of Joe's skull, and titanium plates were manufactured to hold together the bones of his face.
I have pain every day. What they had to do was literally cut out the eyelids and lift the skin off my face. Then they had to break out the Black & Decker drill and saw and cut things, form it all back into place.
Joe still suffers from the effects of his disastrous Las Vegas jump.
He doesn't look the same as he did before. His nose is different because of the 3 breaks in his nose. His face, his cheekbones are puffier than they used to be due to the scar tissue.
And while Joe hasn't done any stunt jumping since his near-fatal accident, he was compelled to get back on a motorcycle. And even more amazingly, he's already planning his next performance. But what else would you expect from this gutsy daredevil?
The accident hasn't deterred me at all. At age 43, I'm not done yet.
Joe's not out of the woods yet. He still has to have his jaw re-broken to fully restore his bite. Now, take a look at this kid's headshot. His name is Mario Bosco, and you'll never guess his real age.
Child actor Mario Bosco has some very grown-up tastes.
I'll have a bottle of Pinot Grigio.
A bottle of Pinot Grigio. Right. Can I see your ID?
He enjoys driving and loves to gamble. But before you call Child Protective Services, hold on. Although he looks 12, believe it or not, Mario Bosco's actually 28 years old. Mario was born with a rare medical condition known as hypopituitarism. Occurring in only 1 in 10,000 births, the condition attacks the growth process, in effect keeping its victims from physically maturing.
I would definitely say sometimes it gets annoying. Like I could be at a place and the guy will say, how old are you? No, let me see your ID again. You know, it comes to the point where I say, okay, that's it now. That's enough. I'm 28, believe it or not, take it for what it is. Here's my ID. You don't want to believe me? I'm taking my business elsewhere.
As a kid with this rare condition in Brooklyn, New York, Mario had it rough.
You know, I was pushed around a lot when I was young, and a lot of kids, you know, I used to hang out in a pool hall, and a lot of kids used to just throw me into garbage pails. And I guess they just did that because of what they were.
But rather than letting his situation keep him down, Mario realized his youthful appearance could actually be a plus and began pursuing a career in acting.
I appeared in mostly different TV shows. My biggest opportunity was last year when appearing on NYPD Blue as Anthony.
How the hell old are you?
I'm sick of people asking me that today. 27 years of age, as God made me. It was a great opportunity. I learned a lot about it. It was beautiful.
Like a lot of actors, Mario is always looking for that next job. And a typical day is often spent meeting with various Hollywood publicists and casting agents.
Liza Anderson, come on in. This is Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
If you're looking for a kid to play a part of an 11-year-old or 12-year-old or 10-year-old, whatever his age span is, you've got an adult in a kid's body.
But even a man driven to succeed like Mario needs to relax.
Michael Jackson.
And there are times when being an adult in a child's body can be fun. For instance, going to the movies and testing the clerk in the ticket booth.
One child's ticket. Here you go. Thank you.
And despite his youthful appearance, Mario loves nothing more than to hit the casinos for a few games of blackjack. However, getting past casino security is always a problem.
Excuse me, can I check out you?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
For this 28-year-old man, his childlike appearance has definitely set the course of his life. But Mario has no regrets. And in his own way, he considers the condition a blessing.
My theory to life, I guess, would be that it's a gift from God. I think God said, okay, this didn't work out for you, that you're not 6'10", you know, but I'll make something else work out for you.
Mario also gets work as a stand-in for child actors who can only work limited hours on a set.
Still ahead, these people are turning themselves into human pincushions. And they say it feels good.
There's a really ecstatic, wonderful feeling for some people when it goes in.
Plus, it's the only event of its kind in the country. Get set to spend a day at the camel races. And meet the rock band turning the music scene upside down. That's because they play hanging by their ankles. It's all ahead on Ripley's. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
In 1934, a reader sent Ripley a photograph that the reader had snapped on a vacation to China. Here is that photograph. A man with a 14-inch horn on the back of his head. Ripley loved the picture and tried in vain to find the man in China so he could bring him to America. But the Japanese had just invaded, and the miraculous human unicorn was never found and never heard from again. This picture is all we have to document his existence. Luckily, that's not the case with this next story.
When members of the Rifa'i Muslim sect have their religious celebrations, they dance and sing. They also perform a profound act of faith, one of the most amazing demonstrations of a human being's ability to withstand excruciating pain. But what is even more incredible is that small groups of friends here in small-town America are embracing the same practice as a path to higher consciousness. Ripley's discovered such a group based in Oregon. For these Americans, it's also a spiritually bonding experience.
Using indigenous societies as a model, we're able to extrapolate and create our own versions of these rituals. You know, in indigenous society, it's a spiritual devotion. It's an act of faith. It's very much meditative and religious process.
It's usually done with sharp needles that are inserted quickly but carefully through the cheeks. The skewers are left in place for 5 minutes to 1 hour for meditation. Participants endure various degrees of pain until endorphins cascade from their brain to flood their bodies with natural painkiller. Remarkably, once the stainless steel rod is removed, The wounds made by the skewers are relatively free of blood and heal quickly.
It actually hurts more coming out probably than it does when it's going in. There's a really ecstatic, wonderful feeling for some people.
While Americans have embraced this Eastern ritual, they have yet to go to the shocking extremes of the Rifa'i Muslims. One devout sect member is having a metal rod inserted right through his stomach. Unlike a cheek, the pole could puncture vital organs. Still, that dangerous possibility has not deterred these deeply religious people from conducting their extremely hazardous ceremonies for centuries.
Yes, this is a saddle. But no, it does not go on a thoroughbred. At a makeshift racetrack in Virginia City, Nevada, horses must stand on the sidelines so that their big, clumsy cousins with a hump on their back have a chance to race.
From its wide-open spaces to its majestic mountains, Nevada is not only a mecca for gambling, but a throwback to the Old West. The ideal place for...
Let her go! And we...
Camel racing? These races in Virginia City, Nevada draw the likes of Andrew Cartwright, an Australian jockey who's competed in major camel races around the world, including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and his native Australia.
You tell people, you know, here in Nevada, we do camel races, and they're just astonished. Well, we get a lot of people ask us, where'd you get your camels from? You know, Egypt?
Actually, the camels belong to this man, Joe Hedrick, who took a liking to these imposing animals more than 20 years ago.
Camels, of course, are not a native of the United States, and the military brought them in way back in the early 1900s, and they used them as pack animals.
Joe owns nearly 60 camels, bred and raised on his Kansas farm. And now, he trucks in about a dozen of them for the races here in Virginia City, the only place in America you can witness this unusual event.
In Australia, we race our own camels, but over here, not many people have their own camels.
And that's probably because camels can be dangerous. They can run as fast as a horse. But unlike trained racehorses, camels can be stubborn and unpredictable, suddenly becoming difficult to control.
Well, the camels panic, you know, and they'll just do circles in the tracks and you'll go nowhere.
All in all, they're pretty intimidating.
People, when they walk up to them, they're so massive. These camels here, I suppose the lightest weight camel we have here weighs about 1,200 pounds. Our biggest camel here will probably weigh about 1,600 pounds.
You're a good boy? Yes, you are.
As Andrew guides his camel toward the starting gate, he begins to tense up.
The amount of races I've been in, I still get nervous before I get on a camel. You know, you still get the shakes. It's a long way up there. If you do come off, it hurts.
The course here in Virginia City is small and U-shaped, accommodating only 3 camels. At less than 100 yards long, a quick start out of the gate is essential. Andrew flies out of the gate, but he finds himself in second place. By the time he's around the corner, he's going full steam ahead and wins the race by a neck. So what's the future of camel racing in the United States?
It's just a novelty. It's the novelty of being able to race a camel, you know. And a lot of these people around here have never seen camels before, you know, up close.
Camels can run very well on soft sand because they have 2 toes with webbing in between to keep them from sinking.
Enter Robert Ripley's archives.
Let's go with the show. Robert Ripley, leave it or not. Leave it or not.
The year is 1934, one of the coldest winters in recorded history. The temperature drops to 28 degrees below zero, and Niagara Falls almost comes to a frozen standstill. But that doesn't stop these daredevils from ignoring frostbite warnings and venturing outdoors for a very chilly swim. Amazingly, members of Chicago's snowbirds brave the water cold enough to cause instant hypothermia. One club member completely defies medical science and common sense by performing an unheard-of 3-minute handstand in the freezing river. Believe it or not. Next, nothing she tried helped Betty Lyon's pain. Now she's hoping to get cured by having a hole drilled in her head. Plus, one extreme skateboarder's attempt to skate out of a helicopter 4 stories high. And this woman will make you see spots as she goes from a lady to a leopard on Ripley's. Stories you can't imagine, people you won't believe. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Welcome to the most unusual car competition in the world. Because unlike most automotive events, these cars are gunning for the title of loudest car in the world. And believe it or not, the noise they make can literally kill you.
It's enough to pretty much stop your heart, and they would definitely rupture your eardrums and probably liquefy your brain pretty good.
At the center of competition is this boisterous bronco, affectionately known as the Beast, owned by retired schoolteacher Alma Gates and her son Patrick.
The only thing louder than the Bronco that I've heard of is a space shuttle.
Today, the Beast is attempting to break the previous record of 162 decibels with nearly 500 times the power of an ordinary car stereo. Amazingly, its reinforced doors will endure over 6,000 pounds of force. To illustrate how this sound explosion would affect the human body, one of the balloons placed in the cab pops within seconds.
You ready?
With one door open to release the acoustic pressure, the Beast is safely prepared to sound off. The crowd is brought to a fever pitch. Everything comes down to one powerful burst of sound. A mind-numbing 165.1 decibels. With a blast louder than a jet engine, the Beast makes boom car history, claiming the title of loudest car in the world. Believe it or not.
This is a trephine, an archaic medical tool used by doctors to drill a hole in the head of a patient. It was supposed to cure anything from a headache to hallucinations. Well, of course, it's unthinkable that this shocking procedure would still be performed today in the 21st century. Actually, think again. "47-year-old Betty Lyons of Layton, Utah, is moments away from willingly undergoing an ordeal that is truly unbelievable. She's come thousands of miles to this clinic in Mexico to have surgery so dangerous it's banned in the U.S. Betty is about to have a hole drilled into her head. And believe it or not, she'll be awake for every agonizing moment. Since she was 21 years old, Betty suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome and deep depression. Despite trying traditional treatments, nothing her doctors prescribed seemed to help Betty's condition. As a last desperate resort, Betty turned to a controversial and rarely performed procedure called trepanation. Modern trepanations are based on an ancient practice of removing a piece of bone from the skull. Evidence of these crude brain surgeries done thousands of years ago have been found all over the world.
The people practicing it really knew something about how far they could go through and how not to penetrate the brain.
As documented in this rare footage from Africa, those who performed trepanations believe that allowing more blood flow to the brain can cure everything from spirit possession to mental depression. Even with medically sanctioned procedures, drilling a hole in your head carries significant hazards.
The dangers are risking infection, uncontrolled bleeding from arteries, or scarring of the underlying brain itself if one advances into the brain tissue.
While these crude brain surgeries were thought to be a thing of the past, recently clinics around the world have been offering the disturbing procedure as a mental health miracle cure. Betty Lyon's lifelong depression has brought her to this clinic in Monterrey, Mexico, where a surgeon who received his doctorate from a medical school in the United States will perform the risky operation. Despite the danger, Betty signs the release. She's come too far to stop now. Clinic's workers start by injecting her scalp with only a local anesthetic. Unbelievably, Betty will be wide awake during the entire procedure. Next, as the incision is made, the skin is retracted and held by forceps. Then the drilling begins. Betty can only listen and hope that the drill doesn't go too far.
I could hear him doing something to the drill, and then he'd put it back in my head and it'd drill again. It felt like a dental drill.
Doctors continue with the delicate procedure, stopping within mere millimeters of hitting her brain. Finally, Betty's scalp is stitched up. Except for a thin layer of skin, she's left with a hole, roughly the diameter of a dime, permanently drilled in her head. Amazingly, just moments after surgery, Betty talks casually about the experience that could have ended her life.
I'd rather do that than go to the dentist. Oh, yeah.
Back at home, as the hole in her head covers over with scar tissue, Betty Lyon claims she's had no ill effects from the drilling, and the experience has changed her life for the better.
It's like a light came on in my life, and everything's happy, everything's positive, everything's full of joy.
But despite Betty's sunny outlook, when it comes to literally drilling a hole in your head, the medical experts that Ripley's consulted about trepanation couldn't disagree more.
There is no credible medical or scientific evidence that it is a better treatment than standard therapies. This surgery carries significant risk to the patient, to the person who undergoes it. We now have a saying, one needs that like a hole in your head. I mean, your viewers can judge for themselves how extreme this is.
Betty will now have to live the rest of her life with only a thin layer of skin covering the hole to her brain. I'm standing inside the engine casing of a jumbo jet, almost 9 feet in diameter. And what's so unbelievable is that a single bird sucked into a turbine can cause engine failure and potential disaster. But at New York's JFK Airport, they have a very unusual secret weapon to keep this from happening.
Metal detectors, trained dogs, X-ray scanners. Despite all these sophisticated measures used to get planes safely in the air, security at one of the world's busiest airports has gone to the birds. Literally. Believe it or not, trained falcons are keeping the runway of New York's John F. Kennedy Airport safe for millions of airline passengers. It was 1975. A jumbo jet was forced down and caught fire during takeoff. Investigators found the cause. Birds from the runway had been sucked into the jet's engines.
The problem of birds at JFK is that they occasionally cross into the airspace, and then aircraft, they hit a bird in the air.
It's a little-known fact, but these bird-related accidents are common at airports. Injuries, deaths, and millions of dollars of damage have been attributed to the problem. Authorities at JFK have tried everything to get their birds to leave.
Propane cannons, which produce a loud banging noise. Pyrotechnics, which are fired from a starter pistol.
Unfortunately, these city birds grow accustomed to the noise and aren't easily scared off. So to deal with the problem, the authorities at JFK turned to nature and the ancient sport of falconry, a practice where these birds of prey are trained to hunt other birds on command. The result? A fleet of security falcons on alert all year round. Stuart Rosell, one of 6 falconers employed at JFK, is the manager of the falconry unit.
I've been a professional falconer for 15 years.
Every hour, a falcon is sent out on patrol.
If you're a starling or a crow or one of the smaller species of gull, then you grow up instinctively afraid of a falcon.
In this case, some stubborn geese in a nearby pond refuse to be intimidated. Stuart decides these hardened customers are a job for his star falcon, Lucky.
Lucky's probably my favorite bird. When he flies properly, he's the most dramatic.
The falcons are trained to respond to Stuart's lure. Once they see the lure, they go into attack mode. Any birds in the area quickly depart. In fact, JFK's falcon program has been so successful that the airport hasn't had a serious bird strike-related incident in over 25 years. For Stuart, working with falcons is a labor of love, and he takes satisfaction knowing that his birds are helping to make JFK Airport one of the safest in the world.
It really is a way of life for all of us. We're very passionate about it. I know if I had a pair of wings and I could fly, I'd be out there flying all the time.
Now, speaking of flying, Danny Way wanted to make a name for himself in the competitive world of skateboarding. When he decided to go for a big air record, he grabbed his board, his helmet, and a helicopter.
In just a moment, daredevil Danny Way will attempt a feat no one has ever tried. The most outrageous stunt the skateboarding world has ever seen, landing on his board after free-falling 4 stories from a helicopter.
It feels amazing to be able to fly through the air without any wings, you know?
At home with his son Jebediah and fiancée Carrie, Danny Way is like any other family man. What really sets him apart is a passion for riding anything on wheels or a board. And it's been that way since he was a kid.
I've had my first skateboard since I've been a couple years old, but there's certain things you tap into sometimes and you just go, I love this.
And growing up as a skater in San Diego meant Danny was at the very center of a booming skateboarding scene, jumping over just about anything.
I've jumped over rails, walls, curbs, benches, picnic tables, houses. Basically everything that you can possibly think of that would be something for a skateboard to roll on.
Eventually, Danny and a friend created the group Plan B to push the limits of the sport and make cutting-edge skateboarding videos. But one thing Danny didn't plan on was the toll skateboarding would take on his body.
I've had 8 surgeries, both wrist, elbow, 3 on the knee, 2 on my shoulder.
Ironically, it was while taking a break from skateboarding that Danny suffered his worst injury. It was an accident that almost cost him his career and his life.
I broke my neck surfing, which took me out for about 1.5 years, and had neurological problems from bruising my brainstem and my spinal cord and all kinds of stuff like that.
Danny was determined to get back on his feet, and after only 1.5 years of intense therapy, is back. Planning the greatest skateboard feat of his career. The setting, the super ramp. A specially built incline designed for skateboarders. Unbelievably, after setting the world's big air record by launching himself 16 feet 6 inches off the lip of the 20-foot halfpipe, Danny still isn't finished. The daredevil has a surprise up his sleeve. He'll try something that's never been attempted before. Jumping out of a moving helicopter while simultaneously landing on his board and hitting the ramp nearly 40 feet below.
Next thing you know, I was standing on the edge of a helicopter looking down going, all right, here we go.
4 stories above the ground, Danny knows what he's about to attempt is extremely dangerous.
And I'm like, well, if I don't do it, I'm going to look like a chicken.
But as Danny knows from a career full of injuries, Jumping's the easy part. It's landing that's tough. And with Danny's injuries, missing could be disastrous. He tries once, but fails. Physically in agony, Danny isn't about to give up. He gets back in the chopper, determined to stick the landing. Amazingly, despite the pain, Danny becomes the first and only person to ever successfully jump out of a helicopter and land on a skateboard.
I didn't really think that it was that big of a deal when I did it, and afterwards people made it such a big deal, and I sat back and I was like, actually that was kind of cool that we did that, you know?
At 26 years old, Danny competes against kids who are half his age, and they consider him a senior citizen.
Next, the rock band getting a real head rush because they play suspended, upside down. And sexy Becky B moves like a leopard. Now, she's out to look like one too.
It's my destiny. I was meant to do it.
This real-life Catwoman stunning transformation when Ripley's returns. Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Ripley's Believe It or Not. A Japanese band called Johnny is turning the Tokyo rock scene upside down. The five-piece rockabilly band plays their popular single, Bang Bang Big Bang, while suspended from metal frames by their ankles. The musicians need a lot of rehearsing to get the hang of this upside-down rocking. Although Johnny doesn't have the funds for a lot of advertising, their inverted antics have generated a die-hard fan base. Many newcomers hear about Johnny through word of mouth and come to the show just to see the dangling rockers. The bandmates, unfortunately, can only play 30 to 40 minutes before they start passing out. Believe it or not.
It's one thing to get a single tattoo, but Ripley's discovered a woman with hundreds of ink blots all over her body. She says it's part of a lifetime passion that she has for pussycats. Take a look. Becky B is a woman undergoing an incredible metamorphosis. For the last 2 years, this 22-year-old woman has been transforming herself into a cat. And believe it or not, she's about to get her 800th tattoo.
I started off with the first half of my back, and I just kept going.
Incredibly, this successful graphic designer is in the process of marking her entire body with leopard spots.
Choosing to modify your body is not about a chemical imbalance in your brain. It's not about you being a little bit weird. You can express yourself in so many ways, and this is another way to express yourself.
Becky is preparing to have the next series of spots applied to her body. And when it comes to creating her unique leopard look, Becky trusts only this man to do the work. Professional tattoo artist and close friend, JJ. In fact, he's done all of Becky's spots to date.
I think with the way that Becky's tattoos are, they're very elegant on her. She keeps everything very feminine, very pretty, and very cat-like.
But before any ink touches Becky's skin, today she and Jay have to carefully consider the natural lines of her body.
You know, we sit and we look at the muscle structure and we discuss what I already have and how well, you know, some new spots would look.
With these new spots, Becky is one step closer to her total Catwoman transformation. She says it's worth it to endure the painful tattoo sessions because, in the end, they make her feel like a woman.
There's a certain level of femininity about it, with the curves and the twirls and the circling of certain spots that I really love.
Becky is not finished yet. She estimates that it'll take approximately 1,500 more spots to complete her cat-like coat.
Still ahead, why this innocent-looking party favor hides a violent and deadly history. The truth behind its ghastly past when we venture into the Ripley's vault. Next.
For a lot of people, ringing in the new year means partying till the stroke of midnight, then sounding off and celebrating with the help of one of these little gizmos. But the inspiration behind these party favors was no fun at all. In fact, this overgrown noisemaker was used to sound a deadly warning. You see, this is a World War I mustard gas rattle. During battle, English soldiers would sound the alarm if German troops unleashed their deadly mustard gas. If soldiers didn't get their gas masks on in time, this sound was the last sound they would ever hear. Unbelievable? Believe it.
What is that? Zombie virus. It's a virus that's transmitted through human contact.
What are you doing? Don't open the door.
Do you know anything? Zombies can't talk.
I can't believe I'm gonna die a virgin.
Based on the real live-action game that took college campuses by storm.
Live, here comes round 2.
Humans vs. Zombies, tonight at 8. Only on Chiller. Scary good.
Get up.
Get down. Move. Damn, girl.
Ain't go any lower.
Shake it, shake it, shake it.
Ooh.
Sick dude.
Premiere movies every Friday at 10. Friday, All About Evil. Only on Chiller. Scary good.